So guys, we've just had a big development update from the guys at iRacing. They've been doing this a couple of times throughout the year now, keeping us up to date on what they have been doing behind the scenes in regards to just improving the sim and some eagerly anticipated features, cars, tracks, etc. And well, this one was juicy. Of course, the eagerly anticipated rain feature, which we've been teased for, well, some time now. We got some real more concrete dates in regards to how that's going to be rolled out to the platform. Some new tracks, some new cars, some updates to the penalty system, stewarding system, and split of licenses, etc. So there's a lot to unpackage here. So let's head into it. I thought I'd create a video for you guys and basically bring you the headlines from this, bulky development update. So here is the development update in its entirety, created by Greg Hill, the executive producer at iRacing, and you'll be able to find a link to this in the description below. Of course, only accessible to active iRacing members. If you don't have an active membership, you won't be able to gain access to this in full. But we're going to do our best to break it down for you and bring those headlines, as we just said. And well, the first headline has got to be none other than rain, a feature that we have been hotly anticipating for some time on iRacing. I think it's been around 2 years now since they first initially stated they were working on bringing it to the platform. And well, in all that time, we've never been given a concrete date of when that will be released. And we still don't get one. However, we do get a half-hearted acceptance that it might be coming in December, which is the season 1 of 2024, because the season for the new year starts in the last month of the previous year, so 2023, but technically it's the first season of 2024. However, they have said we aren't quite ready to guarantee this for December. We are now confident enough to say that the release of this incredibly complex system is imminent. That means it's going to rain soon, folks. So imminent, I would say, is a strong statement. We will be getting it either earliest December, or we'll be getting it in season 2, which is in the first half of next year. I'm happy with that personally, from my own personal opinion, because we've waited long enough for it. What's a little bit longer to make sure that it's right? Of course, we've seen other games in the industry be released too early or put dates on well in advance of when it's going to be released, and then of course it gets released on that deadline in an unfinished state. A number of games like Battlefield and Cyberpunk come to mind, and then we're just waiting for continued updates, and it's just bad for everyone involved. What's also interesting as well is that in the way that these cars are, or the way that the rain is going to be released, it's not going to be released in full across the platform. It's going to be released in kind of a series by series/car basis, and they make mention of this here. They state, to make sure expectations are set properly, we do want everyone to understand that this system requires per car development. It's not as simple as adding a generic rain tyre onto our vehicles. Rather, we are doing car by car R&D to ensure proper rain tyre construction, modelling and driving characteristics. As a result, rain support will be added to the sim in batches, starting with a compelling initial offering that is likely to include the Formula Ford, Toyota GR86 and Ferrari 296 GT3. So the biggest takeaway from this for me in regards to these statements and information here is that each car has had to be developed separately. It's not as easy, as they've said, as just having a one-size-fits-all. So that's been quite intriguing, and I'm intrigued to see how all the different cars kind of disperse rain differently. Of course, so many different design cars and different weights and stuff like that. So that's intriguing. But I think I'm not really quite sure how I feel about it being released in batches. That's the one thing I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm too keen on that. I wouldn't be too bad if there were more cars that were initially going to be released. Now, of course, this isn't set in stone, but they do say it's likely it will only be the Formula 4, the Toyota GR86, and the Ferrari 296 GT3. So, not sure how I feel about that. I feel like you're better off waiting till you've got more cars, at least on the road and oval side, that have rain supported. They have stated in a separate reply to a comment on this development update that all road tracks, so all paved tracks, will have rain supported. So you'd be able to take any one of these 3 cars to any of the road circuits, and they will have rain. So yeah, I feel like you've waited long enough. Why not wait longer? Unless this is kind of like your test in regards to rolling these out first. But yeah, I feel like come out with a bang and just give everyone rain with every car supported. I think that's what the expectation for a lot of people will be. So intrigued to hear your comments on that down below. Feel free to let me know what you think of this update as we go through this video, and hit the like button as well. Why don't you? But what we've also received with this, guys, is a couple of audio samples in regards to a windscreen wiper and just driving in the rain as well. So let's play those now and give you guys a little bit of a tidbit of some of the audio you're going to be expecting when this rain eventually comes to iRacing. So I'm forever asked on comments in videos, why does iRacing look so poor? What sim is this? What game is it? And I think we could all agree that iRacing has a unique style. It has a unique look, but it is lagging behind other sims and other games when it comes to graphics. I've become accustomed to it. I think we all have, and we overlook that kind of graphic appeal compared to other games because of the competitive nature that we get and the buzz we get from the racing and kind of how reliable it is, to be fair, as a sim. But it is lacking, and iRacing has acknowledged this, and it is due an overhaul, and they have addressed this. And well, of course, with rain coming, with that comes some more obviously difficulty in regards to rendering and some improvements in their engine and technology that they're currently using. And they make note of this, that we will be eventually, once again, no timestamp on this, no exact date, but we will eventually be getting a complete overhaul of the graphics engine in iRacing. They've made some personnel hires recently, increased the team, and well, yeah, they have people working on the new technology to help improve the look of the sim. They state a big part of this modernisation will involve our graphics and rendering technology, which of course is central to a realistic and lifelike experience. On that note, we are thrilled to upgrade our graphics team later this year through the addition of multiple industry-leading principal level rendering programmers, who, together with our existing team, will help evolve iRacing's graphics tech in a way never before seen on this platform. Our reconstituted graphics team will be more formidable than ever, and we couldn't be more excited about what's to come. It is important to note that the graphics engine upgrade is a major long-term project, and results will take time. That said, it will be well worth it. In the short term, we will continue improving the current rendering technology. So yeah, hopefully we don't have to wait as long as we have for the rain update, 2 years for some graphical improvements. It'll be a very good welcome for some graphical improvements, long overdue in my opinion, while we have become accustomed to them. We're not getting any younger, guys, so yeah, let's see if they bring those anytime soon. But moving on, we have a improved protest system as our next highlight to look at, guys, because this is something that I think is going to improve the way that we go racing and just improve our overall experience on iRacing, and some long overdue tools and implementation of the protest system that I've been calling for some time. Now, for those of you who do or don't know, every protest that is submitted to iRacing is obviously done after the race, and they are manually reviewed by a team at iRacing. Yes, they are manually reviewed. So some guy or woman sits there and goes and reads your reasoning for the protest and reviews the footage that you have given. They will then determine whether that deserves a warning or whether that deserves, in the worst case, a ban for that individual, especially if they're a repeat offender. And, well, they can also just say, sorry, your protest actually doesn't have any substance. So there are now some tools that are going to be given to these stewards, in essence, post-race stewards, that is going to help them improve our experience. The first one is coaching. Nothing else is said other than that, than the one word. I'm going to assume and interpret that there's probably going to be coaching, maybe as an email or like lines of assistance in regards to what these individuals should have done better if they've been penalised for having a protest submitted against them. Or it could be the case of that they have to attend certain coaching sessions to be able to then get back onto the platform or go racing again. I don't know. It's kind of like the way that tutorials work. You know, you have to go through a set amount of tutorials before you're able to actually get into the game. Maybe something like that. The next one is post-results race disqualification. A member or team may be disqualified from a race or event after results have been posted. Their championship points of the race or event will become 0 and they will drop to a last place finish. About goddamn time, guys, and hallelujah. And you know what, the first thing that came to my mind when I read that was the Williams esports team. Because, of course, they won Daytona 24. They won the Nürburgring 24 as well after some very dubious driving. And, well, there was no in-race stewarding. And they was able to keep those results after, just kind of breaking rules and cheating in some elements, especially at Daytona 24 with their qualifying lap. And able to plaster it all over social media and say they won these races, completely disregarding the manner in which they won them. And, we've been calling for some form of punishment at least, other than kind of just a full outright ban, and be able to just disqualify teams and remove results away from them. And this is what is going to help this and implement that, not just for the esports scene and top split, but for us general racers as well. We've all, I think, been the victim, or at least seen very dubious and unfair driving standards and incidents that someone's been able to just carry on and finish their race and get the result and get the fake internet points that we so highly value, iRating. And we've ended up out of the race. Well, no more. They'll be able to be removed from that race and be disqualified, and I imagine we'll move up the pecking order depending on where we have finished in the race. And intrigued to see how that's going to be implemented in regards to your iRating. I assume you just get the iRating that you would have earned in that strength of field race, and you just move on. So about goddamn time. And as I said about banning, well, beforehand it was just a case of there were pretty much two elements of penalties that could be dished out as a result of a protest: a warning or an outright ban from the platform. And we never really see too many bans dished out. I get it. iRacing's a business. You don't want to ban people who are bringing in an income from your platform if you can help it. And, well, now it seems to be, with this line, restrictions to various parts of iRacing and or the iRacing simulation is going to be afforded to the stewards to implement. So the way I interpret that is that we'll see individuals or teams banned from maybe certain series or certain types of series, as open wheel, GT racing, etc., so that they're given a part ban, so that people aren't experiencing that person in the same series over and over again, where they carry out these misdemeanors. And yes, that's very, very good to see, because they're not banning them from the platform, they're just banning them from a certain series. and it appeases the people who have submitted the protests, because yeah, that's something that I think a lot of protests don't get submitted because we know and not a lot of it comes of it. So whereas now, that's a tool that I think is going to be used quite a lot, and we'll see those individuals move into different series and away from the series that we like to race on the regular. And then it gets even better, guys, because those next bullet points pretty much state there that in all but name, they are going to be implementing in-race stewarding, because that they're participating in race and qualifying sessions for official series or all official racing series, pretty much in all but name, without actually saying it in black and white, is indicating that we are now going to get in-race stewarding for specific events, I imagine. Of course, there's only a set amount of stewards they've got. They can't do it for every race, but particularly top split special events, I imagine, will be stewarded, because it's been a long time coming that needs to be. So that's the way I interpreting that, and yes, happy days. So with any new development update or with any new season, there is new content, because it's shiny new things are what kind of keeps us coming back to games and platforms. We like them a lot, guys. So yes, they make mention of some new circuits that are coming, which we'll touch on in a second, but there is a new car particularly that they make mention of that is coming in December as part of the Season 1 2024 build. The fan favourites and long-time staple on the platform, the Audi R8, is getting a well and needed upgrade. It is being upgraded to the Evo 2 version, and yes, that is going to be added in December. Now, they have stated that there is going to be some credits issued in regards to when you purchase the car. So they state 100% of purchase price for those who purchased within the last 30 days will receive 100% of the purchase price refunded. So in essence, you'll get that refunded in credits so that you're able to purchase the new updated version. If you purchased the car in the last 31 to 180 days, so that's about 3/4 of the year, half of the year, 50% of the purchase price will be refunded to you. So if we have purchased this car in the last year or the last 2 years, you will not get a refund in credits. And to be fair, the car's been on the platform for quite some time, and I think that's reasonable there, to be honest with you. So they've displayed it. I don't think anyone can kind of have really any issues with that pricing element there in regards to getting refunds or not. Then we move on to tracks. So they have stated on the oval side that we are getting the Slinger Speedway, the world's fastest quarter-mile oval. So I'm not too familiar with the oval side or the dirt oval side. So yeah, for you oval racers, I'm sure you're absolutely jumping in glee right now that that's coming to the platform. But for the road side in particular, they have made mention that the Mugello circuit is coming to the platform. We knew this has been coming for quite some time, but we do now get some brief imagery of work in progress of this circuit. It is an amazing circuit. Go back and look at the F1 cars when they went round there during the COVID times. An absolute unbelievable circuit. I cannot wait to take the W12 round for some laps. We're also getting a well and needed update of the Okayama circuit, a circuit that is free on the platform. One of the first circuits, or actually the first circuit I raced on when I joined iRacing in the MX-5s. A really nice, good circuit. Highly recommend you go and try it out if you haven't already. So that'll be re-released, and as they say, for free, with modern artwork that meets their current standards for quality. They've also said that they have processed data that was delivered to the team recently for both Portimao and Navarra, and that their production and art teams are already underway. They did make mention of this in another comment, that this will not be coming in the first half of the 2024 season. So yes, expect those to come probably in Season 3 or Season 4 of next year. Highly anticipating Portimao. Love that circuit. And touching once more on the oval side, they have stated they've just got back from North Carolina, where they have scanned the SRX cars and a handful of different street stock car bodies, as well as they are working on a micro sprint, which will provide a great entry point to dirt oval racing. This will lend itself well to Millbridge Speedway, which is currently in progress. So yes, some whole host of new tracks and new cars coming to iRacing in 2024, and yeah, really excited for what is coming in the future. And lastly, iRacing have updated us very briefly, kind of just reminded us that they are working on a career mode. Yes, career mode, a single player mode, is going to come to iRacing. Of course, we race it for just multiplayer, but I'm guessing this will be a segue for a lot of people who join iRacing and may be a little bit overwhelmed with just jumping straight into a multiplayer only platform. And yes, we'll get them accustomed to how iRacing works and then build themselves up to the multiplayer experience. So yeah, they make mention that they're still making significant headway on this. No time stamp on this as well, as they tend to do with most of their projects. So yeah, maybe some point at the back end of next year we'll receive that. Depends on how much priority and focus they're putting on it. As well as always, new design and experience of the UI. I think it's massively improved over the last year with the additions they've made to it. It seems a lot more seamless, very easy to navigate. I've always been a fan of the UI. Of course, some of you guys who have been around longer than I have on the platform are familiar with using the website and maybe are trying to still be accustomed to it, but I think I love it. I've used it since day one. And lastly, once again, I feel like I'm always done with talking about Oval, and then they drop in another tidbit. There is a massive Oval refresh that is coming to iRacing. There is a big hefty update coming in the December build where there is going to be asphalt ovals which have been updated to produce an improved dynamic racing experience. Track surface grip levels will change more rapidly as temperature rises and falls depending on weather, time of day, and the energy the cars put into the track. Be prepared to tune setups for changing track conditions and search for grip as various lanes heat up and cool down throughout a race session. So yes, a very big update coming for Oval, and they're making continued improvements on it and just making continued improvements on the platform in general. I was lying. That's not the last topic of conversation in this development update, because it was something that actually wasn't put into the development update, and that is the split of the road license. Someone asked a question under this post, any update on the split license system? Now, if you're not aware of this, there is intention to split the road license into open wheel cars and sports cars. In essence, everything that's got a roof and everything that kind of is a single seater and doesn't have a roof. And I think this is long overdue, in my opinion, because a lot of people kind of just solely race GT3s or prototype cars, and a lot of people solely race open wheel cars. And of course, we know a lot of the special events and things like that, even if you just want to dip your toe into other series, it can affect your I rating and your safety rating in a way where they drive very different ways. And I think that is a feature that will massively improve the participation of all series, to be honest, and will help just grow the sim racing. They do it on the oval side, where you've got road oval and you've got dirt oval. So yes, long overdue here. And Greg does answer that question. Do you mean the split of the road license? We are working on it, but unfortunately it won't be polished enough for December. It's not far out though. So the way that I am interpreting that, we know iRacing generally only rolls out big features at the start of a new season. So with season 1 starting in December, it's most likely going to come in season 2. So season 2 could be a very big update, guys. It could include the split of the road license and rain, new tracks, new cars. That could be the one. That could be the real big one. So yeah, that is the last feature that is kind of discussed in this development update. And there we go, guys. That is the end of what is a very big development update. Lots that was covered in there. I've briefly touched on them. There's a lot more information that you can go and read, as we stated at the start of this video. Description to the link of that development update is in the link below. There's been some additional comments that they've made and are continuing to make in response to the members' queries. So go sift through the comments. They're very active, the guys at iRacing, in answering some of your questions. And yes, some things have been answered post this development update that was not included. And yeah, they've made some little changes in this update due to questions since they initially posted this around lunchtime as I'm recording, or the day I'm recording this video. So yeah, really looking forward to what iRacing has in store for us in the future. Looking forward to rain. I'm just enjoying my experience on iRacing. I don't know about you guys. I never really get bored of it, and yeah, it's only going to get better. It's nice. I know people will have a go about the subscription model, but for me, it's a live service that we definitely get to see that they're reinvesting into the sim to improve it, make it better, and they're transparent with us as well in regards to what they're working on, whereas you don't get that from certain other developers across the gaming industry as a whole. So yeah, onwards and upwards for iRacing. But let me know what you think in the comments below, and what are you most excited for. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button, guys, turn those notifications on, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye.